The ruling APC, while contending with inter-party politics, still has a daunting task of putting its house in order. With parallel congresses and factional executives emerging in some states, there are signs it has a lot of work to do. Lagos, Kwara, Delta, Rivers, Ondo, Enugu, Kogi, Bayelsa, Oyo, and Ebonyi State, the cracks in the party's hierarchy became really obvious. In Enugu State, the process was disrupted. That is Enugu State. Let's go to Delta State. There was the influence of Senator Ovio Omar Agege and that of Chief Great Ogboru.
Microphone.
Well, that is Delta State. What about Oyo State? The story there is a familiar one, with the Minister of Communications and that of the Governor having parallel congresses at two different places at the same time in that state. Well, then we take a moment on the program, and up next, with parallel congresses and faction executives emerging in some states of the Federation in the APC congresses, it is a dilemma for the party with its continued run of violent congresses. We'll continue with that conversation when we return. Some members of the APC and leaders alike have described the crisis rocking the party that led into the crises that we see in the congresses, the ward, the local government, and now the state congresses, where at least two executive chairmen are emerging from a lot of the states. So some of them have described it as a problem of multi-layers. So one of those who are concerned with the crisis rocking the APC right now is Senator Kabiru Marafa. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Thank you, Senator, for joining us on the program. Even in your state of Zamfara, there seems to be some crisis, isn't it? What exactly is at the heart of the crisis we're seeing today in the APC?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheon. You rightly said it the way it is. I think what is happening in the APC, like I said to some pressmen, is a deliberate plan to dismember the party and rob it of its almost very clear victory in 2019. I said this with all sense of responsibility, looking at the way and manner the National Working Committee of the party is managing the congresses. Here is a party or a body that sets out some rules and guidelines as to how the congresses are going to be conducted. But at the same time, saying it with one side of the mouth, and from the other side of the mouth, they are short-circuiting the whole process. Nigeria is not a banana republic, like I said, and it is being governed by some set of rules and extant laws guiding everything Nigeria does. Now, you have issued a guideline, and you said this is how these things are going to go. Now, in the first place, they didn't form the committees that were supposed to go to states and conduct the world congresses, which is the foundation of everything this congresses is going to be. They didn't announce the committees until late Thursday, I think the 3rd of May 2015. And the committees were inaugurated and given the guidelines and everything to go to the states where they are posted to conduct these congresses. Now, take for instance Zamfara State, where I come from. You need about 6 hours from Abuja to get to Gusau, the capital of Zamfara State. So the committee didn't arrive Zamfara until around 8 o'clock, and it took them another 2 hours, 3 hours to settle down, eat, and face the business of why they are in Zamfara State. The chairman of the Congress committees called me around 11:30. I went to him around that 11:30, and the first question he asked me was, where are your deposit tellers? I think for the benefit of those that are listening. Now, the party issued guidelines saying that anybody desirous of contesting any office from ward to state level should make payment of so-so and so-so amount of monies into so-so bank accounts. They listed 7 bank accounts written that you make payment there, and they further said that you shall provide the receipt, that is the deposit teller, where you put your money, the bank teller, and the receipt will be evidence of payment, and forms are collected. Then they said you fill the form and return it at least 12 hours before the congresses. Now, the committee arrived in Zamfara, like I said, they called me around 11:30. And by 12 o'clock, which is just barely how many hours to 10 hours to world congresses. And the chairman asked me where are your receipts, and I brought the receipts in envelopes, state by state, local government by local government. Upon citing the receipts, the first thing he said is there is problem. I said, what problem? He said, because I don't have the forms. How many do you have? He said that he was given only 1,400 forms, and I needed 4,704 forms. Now, looking at all these things, now, what do you see? Now, it is the party trying to short-circuit the whole process because once the foundation is wrong, then every other thing on top cannot be right. You cannot build on sand. So the whole congresses were messed up because they were illegal, they were null and void, because a lot of party members were disenfranchised.
Senator,
like I said, now,
if I may quickly butt in here, Senator, it's interesting that you're bringing these issues on the table. And you have said that the outcome of the Congress, which has turned messy in several states, is targeted at President Muhammadu Buhari. Why did you say so?
Yes, it's very simple. You see, it is very clear by now that nobody can beat Muhammadu Buhari in general elections. So what people are looking at is a technical knockout. How? Now, if you look, as at yesterday, about 26 states had parallel congresses. Now, what does the parallel congresses portend to the party? The parallel congresses now are 2 sets of executives. Like in my state, I had parallel congresses in my state. And I believe with the level of due process that we have followed, nobody on earth can fault our own set of executives. Now, the state government, on the other hand, got allocation of forms from the national headquarters. Now, but that is not what the guidelines is. What the guidelines is pay your money into the account, come with evidence of payment, collect forms, look at it. Now, the party provided for 2 modes of elections. Number 1, they said consensus. Number 2, elections, where there is no consensus. Now, I made it abundantly clear to the committee that came to Zamfara State that, look, there is no consensus, and this is in written. I sent them a letter. They acknowledged receiving the letter. Then by morning, they were all out in the field saying that they are doing affirmation. They are doing consensus. Now, I have this letter written. I have the chairman of the committee on tape, telling me that he doesn't have enough forms to do these things. Now, I have my own tellers. All of them are there, 4,704. Now, if the party failed to do the right thing, the courts are definitely going to do the right thing. That I am very sure of. And so what is going to happen? Now, after all these things, we are going to meet at the primary elections. They are going to do their primary elections. I am going to do my primary election. Now, at that point, we will now approach the court and say, okay, I have done primary election with this set of executives.